Get mantra and meditation MP3s at JasonGallant.ca.
One of the most difficult concepts to accept is that your enlightenment will not be found in your ideas. So many people think that their ideas are correct about everything about life, but at the same time, they're suffering because of those ideas. So a lot of times they'll go to gurus and teachers and people and try to find those gurus and teachers that approve of their ideas. And of course, the type of teachers or gurus that they will stay with are the ones that reinforce suffering, because it's the ideas that have caused the suffering in the first place. So really what I'm saying is, if you are suffering and you are lucky enough to find a true guru, don't be surprised if they don't play the game of your ideas. This is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It doesn't mean that they are evil or they're bad because they don't believe your ideas. Because remember, it's your ideas that aren't working for you. It's because you are trapped in the realm of ideas or thought that you are suffering. You see, the big misunderstanding around gurus is that people assume that they are nothing more than glorified teachers. But when somebody is a teacher, they are more a purveyor or provider of information and instruction. Then they are a transmitter of the absolute. So a true guru will not be so focused on changing your ideas, but they will be truly focused on you changing your identification from idea to who and what you truly are. It's a very frustrating part of the path, because sometimes your ideas are quite pleasant. Sometimes they have served you in many ways. But in the end, receptivity through the heart is what this is about, and it has nothing to do with the defense mechanisms of the mind. And a lot of those defense mechanisms come through your ideas. The ideas that are born from self-protection, from fear, from worry, and from having to create a powerful ego to prevent bad stuff from happening again. You see, like, trauma will bring this up in people, which is why people who have experienced extreme trauma have difficulty finding happiness again after the trauma, because they learn to reject everything because something really bad happened. And it is also this way when people work with, let's just say, corrupt teachers or people who have abused them in some way. Then the student will throw out the baby with the bathwater and say all teachers, all gurus, and anything that matches the absolute is bad because it's something my ego doesn't understand. The truth is that there is no way to go through life without making some mistakes. But despite the mistakes, you remain open to God and truth. If you're one of the special people that can do this, you will overcome any mistakes that you have made with an honest internal yearning to what is the absolute truth. Now, the interesting thing about a person who is really yearning for truth is that they may run into a true guru who will contradict all of their ideas, who will crush all of this student's ideas, and at the same time transmit this absolute presence. And the reason why devotion is so important is because devotion does not come from the mind. Devotion comes from the heart. And when the student is devoted to truth first and foremost, and that truth takes physical form in the form of a guru, then the drama of the mind can continue, but the connection remains. So at the same time as the guru is crushing these limitations and identifications of the ego, there's a steady flow of truth that the student is receiving. So there is this connection, this comforting balm that is existing at the same time as the mind is being disintegrated. The falsehoods that are creating suffering, they are all being disintegrated at the same time. But so often, especially in the North American mind, people approach the guru from the mind. And they say, I have these ideas, and if you match those ideas, even though the ideas are not working for me, but I still want my guru to match my ideas, then you will meet my approval, right? That's what the student does. They try to get a guru that meets their approval, but the guru is never free to do their job because the student is not approaching them from the heart. They're approaching them with the same conditions that they force themselves to live by. And that is the very prison that the student needs to get free from if they wish to experience truth. So to come back to full circle here, if that's the right way to say it, your enlightenment is not about your ideas. Ideas can be born, ideas can go away, ideas can change. This enlightenment and God realization is about you realizing that unchanging place within you that is beyond the five senses and beyond the mind itself. Here's a phrase for you to contemplate. If you believe that you are meditating, you have never meditated. I'll just leave that with you. I won't say anything more about it. But there are divine places within you. And I mean that loosely, within you. That you cannot take any concept or experience of yourself into. It's the death process I've spoken about. There's an experience that some say is nirvikalpa samadhi, which is absolute dissolution of all of the identity and the experiences therein, and an absolute immersion into that. And you cannot take any piece of your mind with you into that. And that can be very scary to some who believe that they are their mind. But remember, the solid mind, the structured mind, is what we are dissolving. The mind that is carrying falsehoods about life and truth. But whatever is the truth will remain when the mind emerges again from this deep immersion. At that point, the mind becomes a tool that turns on as you need it, but it is not driving you crazy. And at the same time, it is not filtering reality based on preconceived ideas. So in the deepest place of meditation, ideas no longer exist. Especially the ideas of who you think you are. So do not be surprised if you meet a guru who contradicts your ideas, especially the ideas you have about yourself, because no matter how pleasant those ideas may be, they are still a limitation. And they are still coming from the mind. If you have the courage to let go of your ideas for a moment, you will move deeper into the heart, and that is where the most divine experience exists. You are, let me say, let's just say adventurers, daring to adventure into the place of the unknown and falling into the waters of love itself because of it. This incredible flow of love that is moving through you. You're moving from template of the mind to flow. Flow of truth, how it moves through the ego, and how it is absolutely still. Which is a very contradictory statement, I know, but this stillness in the essence of who you truly are is unmoving. But when you move through the ego and you're less identified with your ideas, then the heart flows. There's a divinity that moves in that moment. And that is what will guide you in every single moment in what is correct and what is the highest manifestation for you in your life. And as you fall deeper into this, you will notice that you will think less and less about yourself and your ideas and your achievements and your spiritual realization. And you'll start to notice more of the world around you and the joyous experience of connection to it for the sake of connection itself. I hope this helps you on your spiritual journey. Take care for now.
Are you interested in working with a spiritual teacher in a formal setting? Well, perhaps the Wisdom Life School is for you. If you're interested in checking out what the Wisdom Life School is all about, just go to aratima.com.